Hey everyone, I just wanted to do another quick video talking about what kind of accuracy you can expect out of your Gamo. So today I have a good amount of data on 4 of the different Gamos I've worked on over the years. So we have a CFX, Shadow Fox, Swarm Fusion, and a Swarm Magnum Gen 1, and we're going to be going into each of them individually and talking about some stuff I noticed about each one, what pellets they liked, what kind of stuff they didn't really like, as well as how they performed with different tunes versus just being stock. So the first one we're going to talk about is the Gamo Cfx. Now a lot of people might not know what this is. This is a slightly older model from Gamo. It's actually an underlever, so it's a fixed barrel, rotary breech, kind of like a mid-range underlever, certainly not as cheap as some of the newer underlevers you see, but also definitely not a Viroc or an Air Arms or anything. Still a ton of fun to shoot though. So we see immediately this gun is extremely pellet picky. We had some 1 cent pellets here. Also, I should note this is in 177. So the cheapest pellets you can find, wad cutters, that's a terrible group. 2.3 inches. If your gun's grouping like that and it's the gun's fault, either you got to do a lot of work to it or just throw the thing away. But there was light at the end of the tunnel. Predator GTOs, which complete opposite end of the spectrum, they're like 9 cent pellets or something, absolutely crazy. Lead free, very light, and you can see 0.6 inch group. This is obviously at 17.5 yards. That's the range that I shoot at all the time. And these are what the groups look like actually looking at the target. So now just a little more to reinforce that after I did a little bit of tuning on out later in the day. You see slightly better for the wad cutter and also slightly better for the GTO. Unfortunately, I don't have anything after I was completely done tuning this. I replaced the breech seals and a few other things and put a new spring in it, which really started to get these groups tight. But yeah, so that's what you can expect out of a CFX. Very, very pellet picky. Next up is the Shadow Fox. I spent a lot of time with this gun. I did a lot of stuff to it. Went from spring piston, which here it's spring piston. Then I changed it to a gas piston, did a lot of work on the trigger, all kinds of stuff. It's really a fun little gun to shoot. Very lightweight. I would definitely recommend it if you're going for a lightweight budget break barrel. So we see, again, the usual suspects here. The wad cutters from Crossman, huge group, really just not good. Heavy stringing on the horizontal, and this is also in good weather. And I just want to make a quick side note. This is what you can expect for power and velocity out of a Shadow Fox, as well as most other coil spring 177 caliber Gamos. It's around 14 foot-pounds, so not bad. But the GTOs tightened up a lot. However, 1.1 inches is nothing compared to literally half of that. So I knew this gun was way out of tune. And I spent well over a month with it. And in August of this summer, the Predator GTOs tightened up to literally one of the best groups I've ever shot, 0.378 inches out of a 5-shot group. That's kind of that's really crazy considering it's like a $150 gun that you buy at Walmart. I also threw some H&N Field Target trophies through there, which performed really well. Not nearly as good as the Predator GTOs, but at the same time, they're much cheaper than the Predator GTOs, so I still like them quite a lot. Next up is a Swarm Fusion. I actually just started working on this over the last week and just started shooting with it today. So this is a tuned gun, so not sure how that's going to affect accuracy, but it is definitely a little bit more pleasant to shoot. This is in 22 caliber now. So we see this is using Spitzkugels from H&N. They're pointed pellets, and these are just pellets he wanted me to use because these are what he uses. And we're seeing very heavy vertical grouping, 1.2 inches roughly on both of them. And here's what they look like on the other side. Just nothing to be proud of, nothing to write home about, which was weird because this gun has shot out well past 100 yards. So then we switched over to the Field Target Trophies in 22 cal. By the way, the Field Target Trophies are great in 177, 22, and 25. I've tested them in all three of those calibers, and they're just awesome all-around pellets. Here's where you start to see groups really tighten up. 0.63 inch group and a 3/4 inch group, which is really pretty decent out of a break barrel. Really, in my book, to be a good group out of a break barrel, you want it to be at the most 3/4 of an inch at my normal range that I shoot at, because then you can reliably hunt and hit every single time. And now we actually tried some Sig Zero pellets. These things are normally really expensive, and I just don't really trust the big name brands making pellets. Gamo makes awful pellets, so I never really was interested in the Sigs. However, my friend got them on a really, really good deal. And here we see that they actually perform really well for how dedicated of a hunting pellet they are. The bottom group is nothing great, 1 inch group. You can hunt with it, kinda. Should you? Definitely not with a low power gun like this. However, the top group, 0.6 inch group, is awesome. I'm more than comfortable hunting squirrels with that every single time of the day. Here's what those look like on the other side. So yeah, these guns can get... Finally, we have the Swarm Magnum. I have a lot more data on this gun just because I actually own it, and I didn't just work on it. So here we have some cheap pellets, the U-Mags. This is what I call the Crossman domed pellets, the 14.3 grains. You can see nothing great at all. 0.7 inch group, and then you throw in a flyer and it's a 1.2 inch group. Here we see some Polymag short pellets, and I just want to show you, this was my point of aim and point of impact with the Crossman pellets. And this is the shift that I got just at 17 yards. So it's kind of crazy how that went. But again, not great groups. The Swarm Magnum, we see some more terrible groups out of the U-Mags. Then I actually switched to the JSB 18 grain pellets, and they started to tighten up a bit. This gun's just not as accurate as the smaller guns. It's just really, really hard to shoot it well. It has a lot more recoil. It's a lot more hold sensitive. However, we see groups starting to tighten up even just a little more. This was back in April of this year. And I mean, when you have a gun that is 50% or even twice as powerful as typical break barrels, you're going to have to sacrifice some accuracy. And that's okay because you get a lot more wiggle room with your shot placement. So that's the Swarm Magnum accuracy. And thanks for watching, guys.